What's up everyone watching, and today I'm going to be ranking all 8 roller coasters at my home park, Valleyfair. This does not include rides like Power Tower, Thunder Canyon, or North Star. And these are all my opinions, so watch out, they're probably going to be different from yours. So with that out of the way, let's start off with my least favorite roller coaster at Valleyfair. If it wasn't obvious, I kind of like roller coasters, but anyone will say even if they don't like roller coasters that Cosmic Coaster is probably their least favorite at the park. It was relocated from Dorney Park, and you don't need a child to ride it, so you can get on whenever you want. But other than that, and some other stats, there's not much to talk about here, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, Mad Mouse, the Aero Wild Mouse, the ride with horrible capacity, but like, am I wrong? They only allow one train on the course at once. And that wouldn't be that bad if those trains could hold more people, but they can only hold 4 people at a time. Other than that, it's pretty boring, other than the drop after the big turns. Speaking of the turns, they're pretty fun, especially when you're with family or friends. But let's get these lame family rides out of here, because coming at number 6 is... Okay, I'm not as big on Corkscrew as some other people are, but it's still a fun ride. It has a lovely aero lift sound, but I don't know, the lines are always very long and it never really moves. But even when you're in the station, it doesn't really feel like the line moves at all. And the color scheme looked better back when it was blue, but I do feel like the orange just fits the area better. Going over the water and being able to watch the ride go through 2 corkscrews on the path looks really nice. But overall, I think the ride is decent. Even the scariest part of the ride is the line. And I think the other coaster in Planet Snoopy is just a bit better. Okay, so for some reason they decided to say that High Roller is a Planet Snoopy ride, when in the back of this ride, it is rough. It gives a little airtime, but not much. I love how in the front it is very tame and fun, with the views into the old Dinosaurs Alive area and the Valley Scare buildings. It was the first roller coaster at Valleyfair, and you can't go wrong with the classics. It gives kids a roller coaster ride that isn't too rough in the front. But let's get these lame rides out of here and something better instead. Yeah. Excalibur used to be my number 3, but then after sitting in the middle and having a super rough ride, I put that number 4. I don't think this ride deserves to be as forgotten as it is. It is a great ride in the back of the park that deserves more love. Keep going forward past Renegade and through the tunnel, and boom, you're there. Apparently there was an airtime hill after the first drop and they had to remove it because it was too intense. I would have loved to experience that, but I'm not that old, so I guess I'll never know. But the next ride is a little wild. Now Mild, Wild Thing is the tallest roller coaster at the park at 207 feet tall. Being Morgan's first hypercoaster, it's not going to be very great, but my god, this ride is very okay. But there's not much airtime, not many tense parts. The height, the speed, and the drop is all this ride really has going for it. But the GP love this. Being the ride you see right as you pull up and walk into the park, it's going to be very popular just because of that. But I don't know how much Valleyfair needs to hear this. Cut off the trim. I get there's probably a reason for it being that slow, and like the cameras probably need to be a certain speed to get the pictures, but do you see how fast the Renegade's going past its camera? Just lay off the trims a little bit, because you get a bit of airtime off those end hills, but not much. It gets as much airtime as an invert, which inverts do not get much airtime by design. Speaking of inverts, at number 2 we have if it isn't the Intimate Impulse Steel Venom. Steel Venom is the only inverted roller coaster in Minnesota and the one of 2 launch coasters in Minnesota. The other one being Avatar Airbender at Nickelodeon Universe at Mall of America. But Steel Venom with its layout actually has some pretty good operations. It doesn't have the notorious intimate downtime like other rides made by them at like Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. Speaking of Cedar Point, they recently put on some of the launch and control panel at Wicked Twister on Steel Venom. Steel Venom is the only impulse that still uses the hold brake. The hold brake holds you the second time you go up on the back spike for a split second. This ride also launches you at 60 miles an hour and has a height of 185 feet. That is almost double of the height of our number 1 spot. As soon as you clicked on the video, you probably guessed that Renegade would be number 1. but I'm gonna tell you a couple of reasons why I put it at number one. First off, that drop is amazing. You don't get that curve or drive or whip anywhere. Second of all, those ejector hills are amazing. The airtime on this thing is amazing. Number three, do you see any other ride with somebody named Renegade Mike after it? I don't think so. And fourth of all, do you see that like freaking park bench in the middle of the helix? I bet you didn't. But now you will. And also, some people call this the best GCI in the world. But it's kind of sad that this is the last roller coaster Valleyfair added in the last 15 years. But at least it's left us something good, right? So that was my ranking of all of Valleyfair's roller coasters. Maybe one day I'll do other rides like Power Tower or Thunder Canyon and rides like those. But for now, it's just going to be remaining these. So I'll see you guys later.